Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Miami Dolphins Roundtable, home of the real Miami Dolphins fans. Make sure to hit that like button on your way in the building. And if you haven't already subscribed, make sure to hit the subscribe button to get all the latest Miami Dolphins news right here on Dolphins Roundtable. Big news Monday for the Miami Dolphins. And boy, this thing was inevitably going to happen. Bradley Chubb is out of Miami. Huge win today. John Eric Sullivan getting it done, getting the ball rolling. This was ultimately a decision that had to be made. You're talking about a big cap hit in Bradley Chubb at over $31 million after a restructure last year. This was a Chris Grier guy, and he is out the building. This was one of the worst decisions Chris Grier ever made. Now, I'm not saying the trade was bad, but ultimately what Chris Grier did after and what the production was on the field explains everything. So let's just break down this trade. The 2022 trade for Bradley Chubb, Miami got Bradley Chubb and a 2025 fifth rounder, which we turned into Dante Trader Jr. Still a rookie, still not sure how well he's going to turn out. Then we go to Denver. What did they receive? They received a 2023 first-round pick, turned that into Sean Payton. 2024 fourth, they traded up to select Troy Franklin Jr., very solid wide receiver for Bo Nix. And they had running back Chase Edmonds, who ultimately had a couple games and then ended up getting hurt and didn't play and got released after that. So when you look at the trade, Denver won this trade ultimately. When we take a look at this, when it's all said and done, the Broncos have gotten Sean Payton, Troy Franklin, and Chase Edmonds. And with Payton, they turned 2023, they had 8 wins. 2024, 10 wins, made the postseason. 14 wins, made the AFC Championship game. So when you look at it, they've had 2 postseason appearances. They're 1-2. They've been to an AFC Championship game. Where's Miami? We've made the playoffs, twice? Didn't make it out of the first round. Didn't even win our division. It doesn't look good. It ultimately does not look good for the Miami Dolphins. And Bradley Chubb, when we look at his performance on the field, 11 sacks in 2023, it looks great. But then he tore his ACL, meniscus, and patellar tendon back in week 17 when we played the Ravens. We got blown out. Then he missed all of 2024, and then he had 8.5 sacks this year. Now, let's get straight into it. Those 8.5 sacks, how many of those were cover sacks? Basically all of them, because his win rate was 7.3, the lowest of his career. Yeah, he had a high career percentages as well, but also when you look at the Miami Dolphins, Bradley Chubb is not a circle player. This is not something you have to game plan for, so he doesn't ultimately create havoc and wreck your game plan. He's just not that kind of guy. And when you look at his one season when he was with Denver, why was he so good in his rookie year? Because he had Von Miller on the other side. So when we look at what he brought to Miami, we didn't have that other guy on the other side. Yeah, we had Chop Robinson. We just brought in. Yeah, we have Zach Steele in the middle. But we don't have any circle players where everyone's looking to, we got to face Bradley Chubb this week. We got to make sure we game plan against him. It's not like a Myles Garrett or a Max Crosby. So we take a look at this. It's not great. Bradley Chubb getting released was a great thing for Miami. Now, when we take a look at the financial side of this, it doesn't look great. We save 7.3 in cap, which is great because we're already hurting. But the dead money is $23.8 million. That's not the good part. If we were to cut him post-June 1st, we save $20.2 million, and we can split the dead money over 2 years. However, if you do use a post-June 1st designation, it actually hurts us more because he still counts toward the top 51 until he is released post-June 1st. So therefore, Miami has to carry him. And when it comes to the new league year and you have to be under a certain threshold for the top 51, that's why it's very difficult to hang on to him because he does count toward that and you have to make more moves in order to get under that cap. So ultimately, as much as it stinks, we had to incur a lot of dead money. Bradley Chubb wasn't tradable. No one was taking that $20 million contract. So when we signed him a 5-year, $100 million contract, as I mentioned earlier when we traded, then we signed him, I wasn't so upset about the trade. I was actually excited about the trade. But I didn't like that we gave him a big contract, and he never lived up to that kind of contract. So at the end of the day, wasn't great by Chris Grier to make that contract happen, but he did. He's done it a lot. It made him untradeable. So basically, we just had to release him at this point. We couldn't wait till post-June 1st because of the financial problems we're in. So really good job by John Eric Sullivan releasing Bradley Chubb. Ultimately, he didn't pan out in Miami. The success he had didn't live up to what we signed him for. If you're a Dolphins fan, this is a really good opportunity to get rid of him. So now that that's done, that's domino number 1 to fall. Coming up, we're going to be discussing Tyreek Hill. But interesting enough, Tyreek Hill, whether he's on his way out, but there's some big news on Tyreek Hill today coming out of Miami as well. We'll do that here in the next video here very shortly. We want to thank you for watching this episode on Dolphins Roundtable. Bradley Chubb is out of Miami. Make sure to hit the like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Well, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.